During the winter, it can get pretty tough to give your chickens all the nutrition they need. But let's be honest, free-range chickens are gonna give you the best tasting and healthiest eggs, right? But what can we do during the winter months to up their nutrition? Because in a lot of places during the winter, there's nothing for the chickens to actually free range on. It's kind of barren. We can grow sprouts, and I promise you don't need a green thumb to do this. Anybody can grow these, and today I'm gonna show you how. But why is it worth the effort? Why can't I just feed my chickens the seeds that grew these? Because chickens eat seeds, right? Yes, they do. But we need to sprout these seeds to give them the most nutrition we possibly can out of those seeds. The most nutrition, the most volume, and really make it worth our while to give to our chickens. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but there's been this explosion in popularity in microgreens and sprouts over the last couple of years, and for good reason. They are exponentially more nutritious than the seeds they come from. So by just giving that little bit more effort and sprouting them out, you're adding so much nutrition into their diet. And you might be asking yourself, well, Brandon, how much more nutritious are these actually going to be? I'm gonna tell you. During the sprouting process, the enzymes in the seeds are activated. And studies show that a germinated seed, a sprout, has up to 4,000 more times enzymes and antioxidants as the unsprouted seed does. Different types of sprouts of things like nuts and beans and legumes and grains contain more vitamins, nutrients, minerals, and fiber than they do in their seed form. Now we already know that the sprouts contain more nutrition than the seeds do, but what's even more cooler than that is the sprouts actually contain more nutrition than the adult plant does. A sprout is going to be the most nutritious possible form you could eat that food in. If you already knew that, let me know down in the comments. Now when you're growing your sprouts, you don't want them to get above about 2 inches long, and I'll be honest here, the sprouts that I have that I'm gonna show you guys today, they're more than 2 inches. Some of them are more than 2 inches because I just needed to film this video, and it's been Thanksgiving and all sorts of stuff, so I haven't been able to film. But today I am. My sprouts are gonna be a little bit longer, so just know you wanna keep your sprouts between 1/8 of an inch all the way up to about 2 inches. Don't really let them get above 2 inches. If you do let them kind of get away from you and they do get above 2 inches like I did here today, it's totally fine. You can still feed them to your chickens. They're still gonna love it. It's just not gonna be quite as nutritious as it would be if they were in their smaller form. Real quick, if you're getting value out of this video, do me a huge favor. Go down, hit the like button, consider subscribing to our channel. What this does is it tells YouTube that you enjoyed this video, and then hopefully YouTube will send it to other people who might also enjoy this video. Thank you, I appreciate it. Now, what seeds should we actually be planting? There's not really a whole lot that you can't plant. So what I did is last year I bought a bunch of microgreens, but I'll be honest, I'm not as into microgreens as I thought I would be. So I ended up just turning microgreens into a thing that I give my chickens. So for me, I've got some basic salad mix. I've got some slow bolt arugula, slow bolt arugula, but I want to come back to this and talk to you about this in a little bit because this is important. We also have some dun peas. We have some broccoli, some purple sprouting radish, some daikon radish, some spicy salad mix, and actually this one right here is the spicy salad mix, and this one right here are the dun peas. Well, you can go to the store and just get a bag of beans and sprout the beans. You can get grain and sprout the grains. Pretty much anything that is a plant that chickens can eat, those can turn into sprouts. The only real one that I've had an issue with is the arugula, and I'm gonna get to that here in just a little bit when I show you how to do this. Arugula just didn't really work for us. Let me start off by saying there's a whole lot of different ways of growing sprouts. This is the way that I do it because it's super easy and you don't need a whole lot of things to do it. There's a lot of other ways to do it. If you're interested in learning how to do those other ways, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to make another video of how to do this because I think it's pretty fun to grow these anyways. Just know that this isn't the only way of doing this. It's just a really easy and foolproof way of doing it. Sorry, it's really cold outside. I can hardly talk and my hands are starting to get numb. I should probably get a jacket on. All right, so what we do is we use a quart jar and we use one of these screen lids, and you don't need this exact screen lid to do this. You can really just get a screen just from Lowe's or wherever you shop at, Home Depot, and you can just get a screen and cut it into a circle and use it like that. This is just something that I got on Amazon, and it came with a microgreen or like a sprout seedling kit thing that I got on Amazon. I'll leave a link down in the description below if you're interested, but it's not something you need. Now, believe it or not, this jam-packed jar of sprouts right here, this was once just 2 tablespoons of seed. So I took this exact same type of seed that I'm using right now, the spicy salad mix, and I put 2 tablespoons in and it turned into that. And right now those sprouts are completely jam-packed in there. I took my jar, I took my seeds, and I'm gonna take 2 tablespoons of these seeds here, and I'm gonna put them into my jar. So 1, 2. It doesn't seem like a lot, but they're really gonna expand a lot, like a lot. I was pretty surprised the first time I did this. And at this point, we need to add some water and get these seeds soaking. Now, I soak mine for 8 to 12 hours, so right now it's like 6 o'clock or something like that. So I'm going to put water in here. I'm gonna let it sit overnight. When I wake up for work in the morning, I'm gonna dump that water out and then I'm gonna let them sit. So for now, I'm just going to make sure my seeds are covered, just kind of swirl them around a little bit. You don't need to go crazy and fill the whole jar as long as all of your seeds are submerged. This is where the arugula comes in, because when I did the arugula, I soaked my seeds and then I let them sit overnight. But when I went to go empty out the water, because they weren't soaking anymore, when I went to go empty out the water, the seeds turned the water into like this goopy, gelatinous goop. And I turned it over and water didn't come out like it did right there. Water wouldn't come out of the screen, like whatsoever. And I tried for like 3 days to make this work. And with the arugula, it's just the one thing I found that just does not work. So what we want to do is we want to get these soaking for 8 to 12 hours. And then after that, we want to rinse them twice a day. So normally you've got your seeds, your jar is empty. And what I kind of did is I kind of twirl my jar like this, and it kind of gets the seeds coating the outside of the jar. And then tilt your jar like this, just kind of prop it up. If you don't want to just prop it up and you want something that's actually made for this, part of that kit that I told you about, it comes with this little tray and this little metal thing that you can kind of just prop your jars onto. It holds 2 jars. So it comes with as the whole kit. You don't need that. You can just prop your jars onto something like a tray of some kind that catches the water, and like a towel, just so it's angled down. But twice a day, you're going to want to come in, you're going to want to take your jar, add some water in there, get your seeds wet, and then pour the water right out. And it should come right out of the top of that screen, unless you're using arugula, because that was just miserable. You'll be rinsing these twice a day, and after about the 3rd day, you're gonna notice these tiny, tiny little white tails coming off of the seed, and then every day they're gonna get longer and longer, and then pretty soon you're gonna see leaves sprout, and you're gonna see these little things start to grow extremely quickly. But you wanna make sure that you're not having that stagnant water sitting in there, so make sure you're rinsing them really good twice a day, dumping that water back out, and putting it right back on your shelf. And then once you hit that 1/8 to 2 inch mark, they are done and they're ready to go to your birds. When you have your seeds and they're sprouting and you have them going through the 3, 4, 6, 7 day process, make sure when you're not rinsing them or doing anything with them, just put it somewhere that naturally grows something. Maybe room temperature is fine. They don't need a heat mat. They don't need any really crazy conditions to grow, because they're just going to be sprouts. You don't need to grow these into a full-size plant. You don't need grow lights. You don't need anything like that. Just put them on a nice room temperature spot on your countertop, put them on your windowsill, something like that, where they're just going to be content, nice. Just don't put them in your fridge or freezer or anything weird like that. Once you give these to your birds, you're going to quickly realize that they absolutely love this stuff. And although it might not replace the free ranging that they're doing during the summer months, it's going to kind of help supplement the food that you're having to give them during the winter. You might start getting a few more eggs here and there, even though it's winter time. If you have a few younger birds, it's going to really up that nutrition content that they're getting during the winter. Trust me, if you haven't tried it, this is something that you need to try.